As a result of the fact that sports can be so unpredictable, the cameras are occasionally allowed to record some extremely humorous moments. This is one of the reasons why we all enjoy watching sports. Here is a compilation of some of the most hilarious and ludicrous events from a wide variety of sports that we have gathered today. Get ready because it will be difficult for you to watch this video without breaking into a smile. If you haven't already subscribed to our channel, please remember to do so as soon as possible so that you won't miss any of the videos that we upload in the future. Let's get ready to go. The 10th point is that their own goals are always really entertaining, but they are also extremely terrible to watch. One's own objective, however, is possible that this particular objective is the worst one that has ever been set. For the individual whose sole responsibility is to prevent balls from entering the goal, getting an own goal must be the worst possible thing that could happen, especially when he has just gone to the trouble of saving one. There is no way I can explain how this French goalkeeper managed to forget to let go of the ball, but it was a terrible mistake on his part. It appears as though he believes he was able to save it at the very last second, but that was only wishful thinking. He had the intention of saving it. Number 9. When it comes to sports, it is always a good idea to have some people on your side. For example, the people who cheer the umpires can decide how you will be scored. When you are playing tennis, for instance, you should never hit the chair umpire in the face with a ball. This is considered a very rude gesture. There was no doubt that it was an accident and everyone came to the 17-year-old's defense, yet it was certainly detrimental to him. It was before the umpire was brought to the hospital that he decided to declare a default, which allowed his opponents to advance to the semifinals. To look on the bright side, at least he did not hit the adorable young child who was standing under the chair of the umpire and was so quick to duck. Number 8. There are instances in which errors are made, and then there are times like this. Johann Zarco was on track to finish 7th in this motocross race when he experienced a nightmare that he had not anticipated. He ran out of fuel. Just how does something like that take place at a professional event like this? I am completely clueless. Everyone must have felt quite terrible, but he is a genuine sportsman and decided to just run his Yamaha over the finish line and watch as those who had crashed earlier in the race managed to overtake him. He did this while everyone else was sitting around feeling pretty stupid. He appeared to be spent by the time it was over, but at least he was able to make a point. Number 7. The Formula 1 practice. During the first day of Formula 1 practice, it is essential to be cool and make sure that everything is in order and that every component of your vehicle is functioning correctly. And this is the reason why that is essential. No, the car did not collide with anything with the possible exception of a bug, although it is quite unlikely that it did even hit that. They were putting a brand new suspension component through its paces on this vehicle. I am not very knowledgeable about automobiles, but I am ready to admit that I am very certain that they did not function. He would likely have given preference to discovering that information at a speed that was a little slower than 180 miles per hour, but there were no casualties, so who can complain? Number 6. A celebration of the achieved. Celebrating in honor of a goal is perfectly acceptable. You ought to enjoy yourself. On the other hand, you should be sure that your aim is indeed a goal before proceeding. Even though Karim Boulout was not on the field when he scored, he never stopped sprinting to find out the truth about the situation. He simply kept going, cheering and leaping up and down all by himself and humming the fans who I suppose were just trying to make him laugh. Once he realized that he had been celebrating nothing, however, he swiftly returned to the ground and returned to his normal routine. Whenever you are involved in sports, you should always be prepared for the unexpected. Nevertheless, nobody could have possibly seen this coming, could they? Number 5. When the pole vaulter adjacent to the track made a mistake, this university runner was on the verge of conquering the 800-meter race and winning the competition. You can only imagine the uncertainty that he must feel when, at 1 minute, he feels victorious and the next moment, he is caught up like an animal in a net. The most interesting aspect of this video clip, however, is the commenter who is enamored with it and who continues to believe that Spider-Man was involved in some way with this peculiar occurrence. But regardless of whether or not he was Spider-Man, they allowed the individual to advance to the finals. Number 4. No Spider-Man is the 4th option. This runner will have a lot of individuals in the world who can empathize with them because they finished last in every race they participated in during their school's athletics days. As a result of the fact that Sajala Tuvalu did not qualify for the shot put competition at the International Athletics Association (IAAF), he decided to compete in the 100-meter dash instead of simply returning home. It is clear that this is not his strength, and he managed to accomplish the slowest time in the history of sprinting, which was 15.66 seconds. Even though it appears to be a poor idea, he ended up becoming a type of hero to the crowd, who cheered for him far more than they cheered for the winner. Number 3. Sprayer that disappears. Football at the professional level is one of the most challenging occupations to enter because it is a very competitive field. With that being said, you can be sure that everyone involved, including the linesmen and referees, is among the very best in the business. Small mistakes like this one are made all the more hilarious as a result of this. To say that he wasn't looking is an understatement. When he looked at the spot where he was spraying that line, he said to himself, "Yep, that's exactly where I wanted it," and he continued. Those players don't appear to be very impressed. The referee must have been quite fortunate to have that vanishing spray, or else he might have gotten one of those shoes stuck somewhere that could be comfortable. Number 2, infinite tucker. To be dedicated to your sport is one thing, but to be truly dedicated to your sport is something else different. At the finish line of this hurdle race, 2 runners from the Texas A&M squad engaged in a fierce competition with intense competition. Before Infinite Tucker decided to lift off and soar across the finish line like Spider-Man, neither of his teammates had a shot of winning the race. However, that instant changed everything. Unfortunately for him, he did not possess any superpowers, even though it is still rather remarkable. Nevertheless, he was victorious, and I suppose that when you think about it, your face isn't all that essential. Number 1. The most incredible shot ever taken. If there were a contest to determine which shot would have been the most incredible, if it had been successful in going to the basket, this one would be the winner. An incredible amount of effort is put forth to protect the basket, and by some miracle, they are successful. Subsequently, this catastrophe takes place. The only thing that James Young is trying to accomplish is to prevent the ball from going out of bounds, and he never in a million years would have guessed that he would be able to get it into the basket if he threw it behind himself without looking. Even though it is a pretty impressive shot, it is still not a basket, but the crowd continued to go wild. Staying true to your sport for the majority of the time is the best option. Did you like it? Tell us what you think of the video in the comments section below, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more interesting videos.